Hello and welcome to our video chat with an expert speaker. We've been looking at the greatest disruptions of recent times to discover how we can craft our strategies for 2024 and beyond with the learnings from these disruptions. Today, we're talking about the growth in sales of EVs, electric vehicles worldwide, and the corresponding decline in internal combustion engine conventional vehicles. What does this mean for the automotive supply chain and to small businesses who supply to the automotive industry? To help us make sense of this, today we have an expert speaker, Rahul Joshi, marketing consultant and founder of SMJ Consultants. A very warm welcome to you, Rahul, to our channels and on behalf of our viewers on all our social channels. Rahul, can you tell us what is the impact of the shift to electric vehicles to the automotive supply chain?
First of all, we should welcome the shift of EVs because that's a very, what you can say, improving step that has happened over the years. We should welcome EV because it's a green concept, less pollution, and that is something that the future holds for us. So, like the mobiles came into our life, so landlines went to in the dying mode. Similarly, this is a welcome step that I would say. Secondly, internal combustion engines are getting reduced day by day. I understand that and definitely agree to that particular perspective. But we also need to understand that they cannot be wiped out completely. They are having applications not only in the automotive sector but also into the marine and the agriculture sector. Somebody like Wärtsilä, Cummins are very, very powerful when it comes to the marines, the military, navy, and also into the agriculture sector. So engines is not something going to die off, I would say. Electric vehicles are coming up in a huge way, and that is always something that is going to happen as we evolve over the years. Parallelly, EV has not been widely accepted due to the infrastructural issues, but on the same lines, government across the world, and especially in India, are trying to promote methanol, ethanol, hydrogen, which are again going to come back to the engines only. They are not going to be running on motors or any other system. So internal combustion engine followed by all the necessary accessories till your silencers and finally the exhaust system. Everything will definitely be there as long as government is trying to put something on ethanol, methanol and hydrogen, which is definitely the green fuel. So EV is the future, definitely because of its green nature. But unless and until the infrastructure is in place, it's going to take some time and we should be prepared, but we should not be scared of it. Rather, we should be in a position to welcome that with both our hands. Considering for our future generation, it is a must. Now, as far as the small industries, the MSME sectors are concerned, for their supply chain, they are very much dependent on the big players. And these are two kinds of requirement that come into the picture. First requirement is the regular supply, and second is considering the spare parts. Every MSME sector should parallelly start looking at the rest of the markets where they could find some businesses. I have always seen that electronics market is picking up very much on the higher scales. Automotive sectors are coming up with a lot of new electronics, accessories, instrumentation, and different kinds of digital systems which are being employed as of now. We can call them IoT systems. So MSMEs need to look at if they are into plastic manufacturing, polymer, small metals, or different components. They should look at the parallel industries considering the current trends. This does not mean that they should carve their movements from the engine sector. Engines are going by single digit every year. The percentage is very less single digit, that too also in a slightly declining mode. But if we consider the parallel sectors, that could help us. Defense is one of the sectors where all these MSMEs can find definitely a very good growth. Exports is one sector where they can definitely find a very good growth. Automotives, only the engine components are going to decline. The rest of the parts are still going to be there. Also, lot of instrumentation, lot of things which will be required for actually accessing the what you can say the performance of the engine, the safety systems, control on the noise, control on the vibrations, and also overall impact that it might be having on the environment will always be there. So if you are into plastic, polymer, metals, exotic metals, there is always some or the other opportunity which will come up your way. It is not going to die off. Let's consider that even if today the engine manufacturers are sitting there and EV dies out, still there is a pressure from the government, from the various authorities to actually come up with new materials, new metals, something new which is going to reduce the weight of the engine, reduce the combustion of the engine. So even if EV is not there, the MSMEs or even the big corporates have to look at alternate measures to actually keep on growing and sustaining into the market. So to answer to your question, I would say it's a welcome step. We should not be afraid of, but we have to think of alternate markets which are definitely available. And since this is bound to come, it cannot be stopped. So it's always better that they start looking at the improving sectors like electronics, like what you can say, the safety systems, environmental systems for automotive, and also exports and defense market, which could definitely play a very big role in their growth path.
Wow, those were some tremendous insights that you shared. And what I'm hearing is that businesses in the automotive supply chain need to be looking at the future and stay abreast of the developments in their industry worldwide and also in other industries such as marine, defense, and so on. So I think what you're saying is that they really need to be ready for the future and have their eyes focused on the upcoming developments. Am I right?
Yeah, we need to keep looking at the future. Also, on the same lines, I would agree that automotive sector is always on the high volumes. It's on the very large supply chain mechanism, whereas the rest of the sectors, the volumes would be less. But on the same lines, we have to consider that what is the future that is keeping hold. Like I mentioned, the mobiles, they made the landlines to die off, the pagers to die off. Similarly, if green is the future, it's always better that MSME start looking at their product lines which could be suitable. Just to give you an answer in the next 10 seconds, I would say rather than considering yourself a small component supplier of a plastic, a metal, or anything which a particular dimension, consider yourself to be an expert into plastic, expert into polymer, expert into metals, and consider that you can make any component out of that one rather than just thinking yourself to be an automotive supplier. I would say it's a kind of a change in the mindset that is required as of now for the MSME sector to think beyond what they are doing and work on their strengths, their qualities, which is actually making a component for the desired quality, for the desired specification in the provided timelines. That is their strength. Their strength is not supplying to automotive, which I have particularly seen that the moment there is a slack in or a decline in automotive sales or some kind of a recession comes up, they get scared. And similarly, they are getting scared on EV. Rather than that, the focus should be on our strength that I am a plastic manufacturer, polymer manufacturer, or any manufacturer. This is my strength. I can make any component with the given dimension tolerances as long as it is fitting to my, what you can say, the margins and cost of production.
Thank you, Rahul. The insights and perspectives that you've shared are so very valuable to small businesses in the automotive sector. And I think there is so much for them to take and run with from what you've told us today. So I really thank you for your time, for the insights shared on behalf of our viewers on all our social media channels. Thank you, and I wish you great success in 2024.